Um, so anyone else had airline food? What's up with that? Okay, so I guess we get started. I guess we get started. So I got my notes because I don't memorize anything. I have the worst memory. But okay, we're good. So, get started here. So, for those of you who do know me, I'm the person you know. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nigel Zachariah Blackman III, aka NGZ Blackman, aka Niggs Blackman, aka you can probably just call me AKA. That's cool too. Whatever. Like I'm not reading the chat right now. So like if it sucks, like I'm not looking in that direction. But yeah. So it's my first comedy special on here. It's my first time doing stand-up comedy of any kind, and I'm hoping it goes good. I mean, it's going great so far. No one is laughing or saying anything bad because I can't see anyone, and that's the great but bad part about this, that I can't see anybody. But so it's summer, and one of the biggest things in summer here in Canada is Canada Day. So for Canada Day this year, I decided that I want to be really metal. I decided that this year I'm going to be extremely metal, and by be extremely metal, I mean I'm going to cut my hand open and bleed all over the place. And it was really bad. It was pretty bad. Like I've never cut my hand that badly before. I've never injured myself that badly before. So my girlfriend kind of came home and was like, you should probably go to the hospital. Like, I'm not a hospital guy. Like, I'm a Google fix everything guy. Like, if I lose part of my foot, you best believe I'm going on Google to find, like, sticks and berries and a cream that's going to miraculously fix my foot by tomorrow. Like, that's the plan. Like, I don't go to the hospital. So, J-Lo convinced me to go to the hospital. So I decided to go, because she convinced me, not because I wanted to go. Trust me, I would not have gone if it was up to me. But, so, I get to the hospital, and of course, there's a ton of people there, because it's Canada Day, and that's a big celebration day, so of course, everybody is doing stupid shit. Because that's what you do when it's a holiday. You do stupid things to ruin your own holiday. Like, that's just how that pretty much goes down. And the hospital I went to is kind of downtown. Since the hospital is downtown, there's a lot of like sketchy people and like homeless people there. And like no shade towards them, but it's a significantly noticeable amount of these people there. And so I'm sitting down waiting to get into the hospital, well, into the doctor. And this homeless guy sits beside me, and his knee is just like messed. And he starts talking to me, like he's a real friendly guy. So I'm just gonna chat with him. Like he's a normal guy, just someone I want to chat to. So he starts telling me this story of how things happened to his knee. Now keep in mind, when he starts telling me this, he says this is the second time this has happened to his knee. And I was kind of like, well, what happened the first time? So he goes on to tell me that he was working a construction job a couple years back, and he broke his knee at work. And I'm like, oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. Until he told me exactly why he broke his knee at work, because then it was 100% his fault. He basically told me that he came to work drunk. So, of course, I'm sitting there like, okay. So he tells me he comes to work drunk, and his boss tells him to go home. Which any boss would do. Like, that's what you expect a boss to do in a situation where you come to work drunk. Like, it's not like your boss is going to crack one open and have one with you. Like, that's not how that goes ever. So, his boss tells him to go home, and instead of going home, he does the complete opposite of going home. He says, I'm just going to do what I feel like doing. I don't really know when you're drunk if that's ever a good idea. When someone who is sober gives you instructions when you're drunk, you should take those instructions. Just go home. Instead, he decides to drink more at work. Now keep in mind, that's not the end of it. That's not the end of it. He decides that he wants to drink by himself at work on the roof of this building. So he goes up to the roof of this building and he is drinking on the roof by himself. And he tells me that the last thing he remembers is he thought, wow, the ground is really far from where I am up here down to down here. And the next thing, he is down there. He's not up there anymore. He is down there, and his knee is like 10 kinds of fucked up. Like, his knee is not in good shape. And I was so surprised by this story. Like, I didn't even get to the second story, like how he hurt his knee this time. I don't even know. He just told me the first story, and I was shocked. I was shocked because you meet people in life sometimes who are just badasses. But there's two kinds of badasses in life. There's the badass, like, let me bring this back a little bit. There's two kinds of badasses, and they both just don't give a damn. There's the good kind, and then there's the bad kind. The good kind of badass is the guy who sees, like, there's a burning building, okay? Like, this guy sees there's a burning building. He doesn't even think twice. He just grabs the water, douses the water himself, kapow! Kicks the door open, goes in there looking for people, trying to rescue people. You know, he grabs a puppy, and he grabs a baby, and he grabs an old lady, and this guy comes out with, like, all these things on his arms, and, you know, the news are already outside waiting to, like, do the report with this guy, and the guy's like, oh, I just did it because that was the right thing to do. Yeah. And that guy is a good badass. The bad kind of badass is the guy sitting out there having a smoke who everybody saw started the fire. And when the police come to talk to him about what happened, he's just sitting there having a smoke saying, no, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Police are like, no, we saw you. Well, we didn't see you. We have reports of witnesses who saw you do this thing. And he's like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't do that thing. And the police are like, well, we're going to have to take you into the station. He's like, okay, I'll admit what happened. It was the dog. It was my dog. My dog did it. Like, that's the kind of badass you don't want to be. That's the worst kind of badass. But I feel like in life everybody kind of wants to aspire to be some kind of badass. And like when I used to work at Subway, I was a manager at this place. And as the manager, sometimes you kind of have to be a badass. Like you have to put your foot down and let people know that what they're doing isn't right. But sometimes you have to be real sarcastic with people because they're really dumb and you're not in a good mood, and you can do it because you're the manager and you're a badass. Like there was one night I was working and we used to be open from 7 a.m. to 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, this place was almost a 24-hour Subway, and I hated it. But my boss was super cheap, and he wanted people to work all the time and get all the money anytime he could. So I'm trying to clean up the store. I've been working the 12-hour shift, and this girl comes around the corner. Like we have a gate. Okay? And she comes around the corner, and she's looking at me like, hi, can I get some cookies? I just want some cookies. And keep in mind, this girl is drunk, like super drunk, because the subway is here, and there is a bar, like a university bar, just over there. Okay, so she is just gone. And I just tell her no, like straight up, you can't have any cookies. Like, we're closed. Go away. So of course she does the whole like, come on. Come on. How much are cookies? I just want a cookie. How much are cookies? Sell me a cookie. So at this point I look and I'm like, you know, maybe I can do some kind of badassery in this situation. So I tell her cookies are $5 each. So she leans over and says, okay, I'll take 2 cookies. So I sold this girl 2 cookies for $10. Cookies are 50 cents each, by the way. So, I mean, I just, $9 right in my pocket. But I mean, like, there's other little things you have to do when you're the manager there. Like, I mean, when people were really, really upset about things, they'd come in and say all sorts of things. And the best part is because I was really young, and I still look really young. But because I was young at the time, people would come by and say, I need to speak to the manager. I need to speak to the manager. So I'd be like, oh, okay. Just let me go get him. He's here. Here's the manager. And a lot of people didn't like that too much. For obvious reasons. A lot of people didn't like that too much. But one guy kind of took the cake. One guy came by and he was just not having it. And he just was someone who I just thinking about it now, like just someone who just someone just grinds your gears. Just grinds and for no reason. For no good reason, at least. I mean, he had a reason, but I didn't have a reason to accept his reason, so his reason was below my reason. And he comes in and he tells me, after buying all this stuff, that I don't understand why everything here is so expensive. So as the good manager that I am, I print out his bill and I say, okay, well, you got a sub, a cookie, a brownie, and a drink. So that is $10. And he says, well, I still don't understand. I still don't understand why this is $10. I said, okay, well, hold on. So I get the calculator, break out the calculator, and we calculate all of these things up. And lo and behold, it's $10. So he goes on about how he still doesn't understand why this is $10. So at this point, I just dead look him in the eye and say, it's because you don't understand mathematics. To which he got kind of mad. You know, he was kind of fuming and ranting, and I'm just sort of sitting there taking it and waiting and listening to all this guy's nonsense. And there's this guy behind him, of course, who's there's probably a couple people behind him. There's one guy directly behind him who's blind, and he's there with a CNI dog. And you know, I'm looking at this guy like I want to help this guy next because I don't think he's gonna complain too much. And the guy just keeps going on and on about how he wants to see the owner and all this stuff. And I decided to just look him in the eye again, think about it for a sec, and I said, yeah, you know what? Fucking dog did it. Good night, guys.